Good evening, Facebook.
What's my
It's your favorite group, your boys from Elevating Men. I am here with my brethren tonight. We're gonna go from right to left, left to right, something like that. To the, I guess it's to the right of me, left of me, something like that. We got my man Andrew Boykin, aka Dinner and Dialogue, aka restin2050.org. Good evening to you, good man.
Good evening, Facebook. Thank you for logging in.
Yes, sir. Below him, we got the main man in the building. Got a little different swag tonight. Big Unc, man, what's going on, man?
Not much. The volume is extremely low.
I can hear you fine, so you better turn your volume up.
Yeah, we can hear you fine.
Yeah. And then to the left of him, right below me, is the fit pastor himself, Mr. Mike Patton. Good evening to you, sir.
Mike Patton, pastor in the house with Elevating Men. What's up?
Got his Martin Lawrence vibe tonight. That's
I'm here.
So, man, the last 2 weeks. Say that again. He froze again. He'll jump back in a little bit. But the last 2 weeks, man, it's been fire. The conversation has been fire. I think I was there for week 1, and then last week I sat out so some of y'all could, put y'all 2 cents in a biscuit in. And so last week was fire. I had a chance to listen to the conversation today. Y'all had some fun, man. I was sad I missed out, but I enjoyed listening and tuning in nonetheless. So y'all ready to get to it, man? Let's get to it. Men won't settle down and women won't settle, period. So I know last week, my man AB thought it was important to keep dropping the D word in there. And it's not dictionary, so but no, I totally got where you were coming from, Big Unc. I know you kind of talked a little bit about things from a biblical perspective, and trying to also tie in some of kind of more or less the New Age thought. And then Mike P, I know you tried to jump in last week and weren't able to, so let's lead with you first. The fit pastor. So I don't know if you've had a chance to really kind of listen and tune in to the other 2 previous sessions. But let's talk about the men first. We talk about men won't settle down. And when I was listening to last week's episode, something hit me kind of hard. And I said, if you were trying to make the decision about who you are going to spend the rest of your life with, and I thought about for better or for worse, right? The statement for better or for worse. And if you don't know what that person's worse is, and you standing at the altar, you are absolutely in trouble. You are in trouble. If you've gone through the whole relationship, honeymoon stage, this, that, and the third, and you get into the altar and you're standing there looking across from that person as you're getting ready to say, I do, and you haven't seen their worst, you are absolutely in trouble. So I want you to kind of speak to that from the men's perspective when we are trying to build a foundation, lay a future for the woman that we're choosing to settle down with, to build a life, to build a foundation with. Talk about what needs to happen prior to saying I do.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Loud and clear.
Okay. Well, first of all, I can only talk to the believer. We have to, first of all, look at Genesis 1 and 2, why man was made. See, when you stand at the altar, and I'm going to go back that so I can be apropos to what I'm trying to say, use as a soliloquy. What I'm saying is this, is that when you stand at the altar, what you don't need to, first of all, look at her, you need to look at yourself. Because if you don't know you, you can't know her. And if you don't know her, you don't know where you don't know where to take you. And so right now you're in a conundrum. You are in a Rubik's Cube because you don't know where to go. The first thing she ought not ask you is, do you love me? As where are you taking me? Now, if you have nowhere to go, then she has no person to follow.
You know, I think he really had something so profound that the internet didn't want anybody to hear it. The internet didn't want anybody to hear it. So we'll let him jump back in here in a little bit. But Big Unc, go ahead. I see you got your finger pointed there.
So last week I was trying to stay true to the topic. So there was things that I said that they don't represent me now, but answering the question of why don't men settle, that's where I was speaking from. And I think there was a little confusion there, but that's where I was speaking from, how men be in a relationship and then they start to grow and build up and they can't settle for this one because they're always looking for something better. But the question you was just asking, or the statement you made where you said, if you don't know that person's worst, you're not going to know their worst. You're not going to know what's coming down the road.
How do you, okay, so help me understand that, because you're saying that you're not gonna, you may not know their worst, but it couldn't have been butterflies and rainbows the whole time. It couldn't have been. So you seeing some of the negative things about that person.
So what I've learned is that dating or courtship is a preview of what the relationship will look like. And the relationship is a preview of the marriage, but then the marriage is day one. The day you get married is day one. But biblically speaking, no one in the Bible dated. No one in the Bible courted, except for Esther and the king. And even that was a different situation.
Can you all hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear.
You can hear me?
Yes, sir.
See, the Bible said, this go biblical. He that findeth himself a wife, findeth himself a good thing, and is in favor with the Lord. What God puts together, not you.
This is gonna be good.
Man put asunder. Okay, that's second of all. Number one. Let's start from the very beginning. For it is not good for man to be alone. Let us, Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, make him a helpmeet. Helpmeet does not mean helpmate. Helpmeet is to help him to where he's going. And if a man is not going anywhere, then how can he take her? So the very first thing he has to look at is that, why is he here? What's your purpose? If you don't know your purpose, you ain't got no business looking after now trying to find a wife, especially if there's no intimate connection and relationship with God. Now, if you're doing this without God, you're on your own. That's why there are divorces, because God ain't put everybody together.
Okay.
God had a plan. Let me just say this and I'll let you go. The very first thing he gave Adam was what? A job. He says, go till the ground. Now, then the second thing he said, I want you to be fruitful and multiply. So he didn't mean Adam and Steve. He meant Adam and Eve. So he put two together so that they can procreate now to make people like him. He says, let us make man in our likeness and our image. So what did he give? He gave them power. He gave him, first of all, dominion. Now in chapter 3, because he disobeyed God, he lost his dominion. And now he has a free choice. Today we have a free will choice because he gave up his dominion that he had in chapter 1 and 2 and lost it in chapter 3. So now man has a choice because he ate from whatever that fruit was, and it wasn't an apple, it wasn't any kind of orange. It was something that now had a fruit where he had a choice. Man now chooses a choice that he does not know what to choose from, because he doesn't know the tree, because he doesn't know his own tree, because a lot of times when we marry, men are men that are barren.
Okay.
They can't produce fruit themselves.
Right.
So now how can I produce a family and I end up being a baby daddy's, a mama baby's daddy, right? Because what I'm doing, I'm planting seeds, but there's no fertile ground that I'm putting it in. I'm not saying she's not, As we're planting a seed, because we have three things that happened to him when he ate that fruit. He had the lust of the eye, the lust of the flesh, and the pride of life.
Okay. Whoa, Mike. We way down into chapter 3 now. What were you going to say about that, Big Unc, in chapter 1?
Okay. So just to respect the tone of the platform, I don't want to make it too preachy or anything like that, but just that he said so much. We have to remember that our topic is why don't men settle. So just like I was saying earlier, answering that, like I remember the reasons why I didn't settle. I took a lot of women for granted when I was younger, because I didn't see down the road that, you know, your choices are going to start dwindling. And then certain men, they may not have everything that they're supposed to have. They may not have the direction. And so they go into this relationship, and that woman does a great job of building the man up. Something I brag about this podcast is that this podcast is about male accountability. I just told a woman this earlier. It doesn't matter if that woman didn't treat you right. Man, what are you going to do to fix yourself? Doesn't matter if your parents didn't give you all the tools. I'm 40 years old now. It's on me. So we go through some of these relationships, and that woman builds you up, and then you start looking across the street like, man, Keisha's still looking good, man. I didn't have a car to holler at her last time. You know, let me spin the block. And so a lot of times these men are not settling, especially with today's culture, with the internet making the world smaller. A lot of times it's harder. I say this, and I I'm done. I found out it was easier for me to be in a committed relationship. This was before my first child, when I was staying in the house. When we moved to Georgia Court on Ormer, income-based apartments, everybody baby mama down there. You know what I'm saying? All these niggas, you know what I'm saying, messing up, and I'm right here. It was hard. I couldn't even make it out the building without a female looking at me or trying to holler at me on the elevator. The world has gotten so small that men are starting to constantly weigh options instead of anchoring down and building that family, building that unit.
So do you think that do you think that we're so engulfed in the end results that we don't focus on the steps that lead to that? Because
no, like Mike said, there ain't no end result. That man don't know where he's going. There's no end, because I remember I had a threesome, and the roommates and stuff was checking me about it. And after dude checked me and his girlfriend walked upstairs, he said, "Bro, you just got such a big appetite." He said, "Man, if I could have did it, I would have did it." It was the appetite. I had no handle. I had no control on my appetite. And because of that, my life was all over the place. And I had to get to the point to where, as a man, you have to be able to control the things that's going on inside of you. Most men that can't settle, there's no control inside.
Drew, I gotta let you jump in on that, because I know you have.
I was hoping Mike would not have dropped off, because that was where Mike needed to come in. Because I'm thinking Mike would have said, I didn't hear the word purpose in there. You know, what was your purpose? You know, it
wasn't. There was no purpose in them actions at that time.
So if there was no purpose, there was no direction. If there was no direction, there was no place you was taking her. There was no place you was taking her. Then it was a free for all.
Mm-hmm.
So you talked about something that I found to be extremely interesting last week, Big Unc. You talked about we shouldn't have to settle.
Hold on.
Oh, Mike is back. Mike, I want you to.
Here we go.
I want you to chime in. I want you to chime. Melvin, you got Melvin's attention now. He said a threesome, Marcus.
Melvin, you know me. You know the life I lived. Past tense.
Okay, listen.
So Mike, you heard what Big Unc said. I want you to comment on what he said.
Well, see, what happens is that when you have more than one, you build up an appetite, then you build up a preference.
Okay.
See, that's first of all. Now understand, when two people are together, you're supposed to be evenly yoked, because marriage is the institution that God made by him. We turn it into about us, because he says, of these trees you shall eat of, but of this tree, if you eat, you shall surely die. Our relationships die because we have a lust of the flesh, the pride of life, and then we delve into something now that is not apropos as it relates to now the spiritual manifestation that God made marriage to become. And the reason why I say that, now let me jump all the way to Revelation and Thessalonians, First Thessalonians and Matthew. When he's coming back to get the bride. Apostle, who's the bride?
We are the bride.
The church is the bride. Those that believe. Who's the husbandman? He says, I am the tree, my father is the husbandman. He's coming back to get his bride, what? Without spot or wrinkle. And why is that spot or wrinkle? Because they've been washed and cleansed with the blood of the Lamb. Now, if this person has a different...
You're freezing, Mike.
Up in two different directions. You have a motive. He has a motive. She has an intent. You have an intent. You're going 90, going north, going nowhere. The man in the house is supposed to lead. But if he does not know leadership, the ship remains stagnant, then flips over and now sinks and goes nowhere. Now, the life jacket that you're supposed to have is now how you hold on to God's hand and now obey him. And so these are tests, trials, and temptations that we go about in Matt and Mark. Whatsoever things you desire when you pray, believe that you have received them and you shall have them. So now my relationship is based on my intent. Most relationships, Mike Patton, was about getting in between the drawers and seeing what kind of high heels you got on, the big fat lipstick, and seeing you at a club. The bodybuilding piece. I fell victim to eating from trees that I should not eat of.
Okay.
Mike, I have a question.
So
if it's okay.
You said the word accountability. I had nobody to be accountable to other than my flesh. So I had to pray to God now takes away from that temptation, and the Holy Spirit that's in me works in me and works through me, not to profit me, but now to bring me to a point I'm holy like he asked me and told me to be. He says, be holy as I am now. It's not a point of, I'm telling you where my faith and my belief, the reason why we have divorce at such a high rate, because we don't marry in the right context in which now God had planned for us to marry.
Good point.
Okay.
So it's not a point of settling.
Good point.
Yeah, I like that. So I want to ask before I ask a question. We got some people in the comments, man. I want to make sure I give credence to Shell 76. I been rocking with us. Thank you so much. A loyal listener. So I want to thank you for tuning in. Namaste to you as well. Shay said, never consider settling. Instead, concentrate on not relying on anything outside of thyself.
That's unhealthy.
Okay, we'll get to it. Spencer Parker, good evening to you as well. Miss Twinette Freeman, thanks for tuning in. We appreciate you. Like, share, subscribe. You can check us out on YouTube at Elevating Men. We are now on Roku every Saturday at 3 p.m. Man, we y'all doing some things. Y'all doing some things, man. I'm so proud of you, brothers, man. Y'all keep up the good work. I want to ask a question, and I guess I'm gonna pose this to you, Big Unc. So I know of someone that has been happily married for 50 plus years, right?
Mm-hmm.
Does not believe in God at all. But has been happy.
Well, you're gonna have to let me answer this before Big Mike come back.
So what say you to someone that has been happily married for 50 years and does it? And I'm not gonna say they don't believe in God. They don't. They're not.
Well, it wouldn't matter.
It wouldn't matter. Okay, it wouldn't matter.
It wouldn't matter. So for those of us that believe, a biblical principle is a God principle, is a God law. You don't have to be a believer in order to apply it and it work for you. It's a law. Okay. Just like you go to another country, you abide by that law, you become someone that benefits from that law. Don't have to be a member of that country, but that's just the way laws work. So like giving a tenth, paying your debts quickly, things of this nature, being a good steward when it comes to money. These are biblical principles, but we see that a lot of CEOs and people that don't believe at all follow these same principles and they get results. Before Big Uncle, listen, there's nobody in the Bible that married for love. The Bible says a man that finds a wife. Didn't say that God had to show him. Said a man that finds a wife. Key thing, she's already been a wife. A lot of times we're not picking a woman because of her characteristics or the inward attributes. We're picking a woman because of what we see with our eyes. Okay. And a lot of men, there's men, because you hear this a lot, a woman, beautiful woman, to be like, man, you know, if I look like this, why did he cheat on me with somebody that look like that? That girl got 2 backs and a beard. That's what he's actually attracted to. But aesthetically, it's not socially acceptable. So that man will choose somebody that he's not attracted to. And like I said, it's all that outward. It has to be about the inward. Stand true to your question. These people have been married for a long time and they're happy and it's worked and they don't believe in God. You won't find in the Bible where God is hooking people up. That is our responsibility. And as long as you follow
that's not true.
Hold on. Let her finish.
So let's see. You have Hosea and Gomer, and God said that he did that so that Gomer, so that the prophet would know how he felt. You have people want to say Ruth and Boaz, but that's not true. Naomi set that up. You can say one night with the king, Esther, but that ain't true either because the uncle told her to lie to save the people. So you have all these agendas. And so if you want to keep it biblical, what I see is that present day is not too much different than what was in the Bible. People are marrying because of agendas. But is it able to work without God? Unfortunately, yeah. Follow godly principles. Respect the wife respect the husband respect the wife, submit to each other, put each other first, be good stewards. If you put all those principles into play, it's going to work. If you deny yourself, because as we get older, we don't always look the same. Everybody ain't Mike. We can't stay in shape like that. We trying. But if you can be disciplined enough to deny your flesh, when you see the new version of your old boo, then you can get to a point to where, yeah, it's going to be successful. Let me make sure this food don't burn.
So, Andrew, I want to go to a comment.
Go ahead, Mike. You
okay, Mike, go ahead. You wanted to comment. Go ahead.
What he was not biblically true because he put Abraham and Sarah. He was Abram and then Sarai. He became Abraham and Sarah and told him, if you go and obey me, I will make you father of all nations. Then you had David. David now goes to his coming to America. I'm looking for me, wife. It's time for me to hook up. So God told him, don't go over there with those tights and Shiites. Mm-hmm. I got a woman that you know. Now I want you to go, and when you find her, she will have long hair, dipping out. He traveled 470 miles from here, like it is to go to Memphis, camels, and found him. And when he looked at her, he knew she was the one. And then she told her brother, and then her brother told her parents, if God said it, then go to her. Guess who came through the house of David? Jesus, from the house of Jesse. So that was the hookup that happened, how Jesus came. How Abraham had now that was now God hooked and Sarah. So the old law, we go to now the apostle and go down to the epistles. And now he says, husband, Paul says, he says this in Galatians, he says Thessalonians, he says the epistles, 3 of them at least. Husbands, love your wife as Christ loves the church.
Okay, hey
So
Mike.
what
I
if
gotta hate it. I hate it. Why do we need the internet? Because I know he's saying a lot, but his voice is bouncing.
So let's go to Shay. Let's go to Shao 76 and Shay.
No. Yeah, let's talk about Shay first.
Yeah,
Andrew,
yeah.
I want you to talk about this, and then Big Unc, I'm coming to you, because you actually disagree with their statement, and before I let you comment, I kind of want to set the stage for something. So Shay said, never consider settling. Instead, concentrate on relying on anything outside of thyself. When you said that's
not relying.
Yes.
So
do you agree or you disagree still?
Well, I still disagree, but we got AB.
So
go ahead.
I'd have to play this back because I cannot remember what you said, Big Unc. But you said something and you finished on something about the man.
I remember what he said about settling. What did Big Unc say? Yeah. You said that a man should never settle. You said it last week.
No. I'm sorry. Just recently, a few seconds ago.
What I was talking about when as far as like the man inside me, if I don't have him together, if I haven't disciplined him, if he's not accountable, then he's not going to produce outwardly a man that can find a woman, stick with that woman, see it through, and commit.
And what you just got finished saying sounds like what Shay was saying. Instead, concentrate on not relying on the man outside of you.
Yes.
Okay.
I think that's what she was trying to say. Shay,
that's what I thought I read.
You can give us a thumbs up if we're misinterpreting you. But that's what I read.
If it's okay, I would like to read it again. Never.
All right, I'm gonna put it up here. There you go.
If you're relying on that man outside of you, then you're out of whack. You're out of sorts. You're out of line.
So do you see it right there?
Yeah. So kind of what you were saying, rely on that man inside of you. That's what I heard.
I see it.
Yeah. Instead, concentrate on not relying on anything outside of you. Rely on that man inside of you. But get that man together first.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Tell me what you're saying.
Okay. So, first part.
Uh-oh. Did you freeze?
Yeah.
He might.
No, he's thinking. He's thinking. I can see.
Okay.
See yeah.
Okay.
So while you're thinking, Big Unc, I'm going to actually go back to what she was saying. Never consider settling. And in my opinion, you don't consider settling, especially if you have a purpose. Mm-hmm. If you have a purpose, you don't settle for any parts that's less than that purpose. You go full force for that purpose, and you don't rely on anything outside of you because that purpose, that vision, it came from within you. That's where it was molded. So you actually know what the pieces look like. And when you write them down from the inside of you onto paper, you will be able to see what the inside of you sees. Other people will be able to see what the inside of you wants to accomplish and where you're going, including your helpmeet. So it's not necessarily, in my opinion, it's not unhealthy to rely on yourself, because every step you've taken to get prepared for your journey has, in my opinion, been either educational or what's the other word to that? It's been an experience. Yes. Yeah, that helps you along your journey.
Yeah, I agree, and I think so, and I think the interesting part of the word settle is the negative connotation that's associated with the word settle, versus I'm not even going to say trying to find a positive spin to it, but really just actually processing, right? Because if you go back to week 1, right, we talked about the positive pieces of settling. When concrete settles, it's creating a foundation, and you can kind of use that same analogy for life, you know. And so, and so I think we have to be careful that we look at settling as a negative thing, right? Because at some point in life, you have to settle into something, right? Mm-hmm. Even if it's bullshit, you still have to settle into that bullshit. And so, I'm not saying it's the right thing to do, but I'm saying eventually you will settle into it. And so, I think that we have to stop looking at settling like it's a bad thing, and look at settling as, once we get to a point, it is absolutely okay and probably important and necessary to settle. Because if we don't eventually settle into a relationship, then we're just going to continue chasing while we burn bridges and we destroy other people along our path. And so knowledge of self, of course, is the most important thing before we start to really dive into serious relationships. You have to know who you are. You have to understand what you bring to the table, because like when you talk about the whole proposal thing, right? I never really looked at a proposal like you did until you started talking about it. And I was like, wow, that makes perfect sense. You know, you're proposing to...
Are you talking about how I was explaining the diary?
The who?
No.
Can I say this?
Sure.
See, right now we're going through a point, okay, from a male's perspective, it's a philosophy. We're looking at the Socratean, Platoan. We're looking at the Michael Dyson way of this. This is the point. I don't want to take a woman that I got to drag along the way. She's got less than what I have. She ain't got a job. She ain't got a car. And I got to pay for her child and be the daddy of him when the daddy's not taking care of his own responsibility. I got to become the daddy. I got to babysit. I got to buy the diapers. Okay, I got to work 2 jobs to support you when you ain't doing nothing for me. That's in the philosophical piece of philosophy dealing with settling. I'm not settling with you cussing me out. You know, I'm not settling with now you looking at me like I'm some kind of piece of trash when I'm providing for you. I'm not settling with you when you always on the phone talking to your girlfriends and you on Facebook, but you're not paying any attention to me.
Right, and I respect that, but why have you settled in? Right? If that's what's going on and that's not what you want, then why would you settle into that?
Let me give you my point, and it may not, and you may not like it, but the word is called love. You know what love means? Legs open very easy. Legs open very easy. Okay, so once you start falling in love, you ain't falling in love with her as you got whipped and you can't let it go. Now you try to overtake it, and so she throws a lot of stuff on you, of minutia, of manure that stinks. But you rather have the stink and have the wound than to go someplace else and find yourself. Then you don't want nobody else to have it, and you know she ain't no good for you.
But
there's a jealousy piece that goes somewhere.
But let me back up a little bit though. Because that would go back to me, in my opinion, right? Knowledge of self. If you have knowledge of self and you have a discipline about yourself, the LOVE that you refer to isn't an issue.
Exactly.
But when has it not been?
When has
let's be realistic. When has it not been?
There are plenty of men who are not on this conversation right now because they are happily married.
But how about before they got married, brother? How about before they got married?
Right, but see,
okay. You have a minuscule amount of people
Yes.
You have a minuscule amount of people, and they got stats, and I wish I had my stat book, that have gotten married right out of high school, right out of college, or for the first time they dated, just like Apostle said, or said, that in days they call it courting. The only way to court a person was for the intent to marry them. Our intent is not to marry them, it's to showcase them on my own and see what they're about. For the Christian, you're supposed to ask God, is this what I need? But we don't. We see that big old behind and we see that breast open. This is what I want. It's not necessarily what I need, but this is what I want.
So
then when we spend time.
Okay. So that's great. But we are assuming that a lot of people, more so than not, are just that messed up. And that assumption, in my opinion, is what has us thinking that the glass is half empty instead of the glass half being half full. Because there may be more people who are happily married than not.
And statistics say that's not true. Because it depends upon, I like it, half full, depends on what's in the glass, brother. Okay. See, my glass could be half full of something pure, and my glass could be half full of something that's BS. And I don't want to say the word be in the script and be out of order.
I'll say it bullshit.
But see, the thing about it is to use his body parts, because once he gets introduced to the biological piece of his hormone, it goes by the environment and what she sees. That's why it comes up. It's called pornography. Is in the eye gate, the ear gate. We go now through her gate to get to her. We're not even knowing about her. Okay, so now what she comes with is what we have to receive. Right? And so then you found out after 4 or 5 months of being, we're knocking it up, knocking off the boots, y'all even moving together. You found that ain't what you want. That's because you haven't taken time to get to know her pedigree. You did not know now the background of her resume. That means something, but then you got to come with a resume too. Women are so intelligent that they've been put back so much.
Okay,
and we lost them again. God damn it! So
there's a storm coming in, and it's knocking. It's messed with the internet. Like earlier, AB's audio was like really dragging. It's just, and I'm looking out my window like I'm seeing stuff being blown around. It's just a storm.
Okay, so what I'm thinking is, and I forgive me for saying this because Mike is not on, but he's describing to me a man that goes back to what Shay was saying, a man who does not know himself, a man who does not know himself. It does not matter. It does not matter about the woman and what she's not bringing to the table. It does not matter how many kids she got. It does not matter all of that stuff that she's going to bring, her drama. If he does not know himself, then he is not going to vet her properly before he jumps between her legs open very easily. That is on him, not her. It is all on him. She is always the second cause in every relationship. He is the first cause. And if he does not know his cause, if he does not know his purpose, he gets what he gets.
And I want to say this before you jump in, Big Unc, and then I'm gonna let you say what you want to say. So I want to make sure that we are being solution based, right? Because we keep talking about the whys, and we do this round robin of, this is why men won't settle, and men and women won't settle because we won't settle because they like, well, why would I settle if you not joining the party, right? Like it doesn't make logical sense, right? And so I think that's why it's important for us to really talk about,
how we get there.
How do we get to a point where we don't have to settle, right? Because you talked about it last week, Big Unc. You talked about I shouldn't have to settle, right? I should be able to essentially, and I'm not going to use the phrase have my cake and eat it too, but the inside and the outside are both beautiful to me.
Yeah, what my grandmother was telling me. Yeah.
Yeah, I've invested the time to vet out the person that I'm talking about spending the rest of my life with. And you know, I look at it's real tricky, right? Because if we look at current situation as it is right now versus when our grandparents were around, right? Mm-hmm. They were getting married at a young age with the understanding that if this is the person that I am going to be with, then I am going to figure out how to build a life with this person, right? And for a lot of women, it was either get married or you was living with your mama for the rest of her life because there weren't a ton of options for women to go out there and make money and to be something other than a housewife, you know? And so we have to think cognitively now where we live in a world where there's tons of women in the workforce and women have options now because if we keeping it real, let's keep a $100, right? Papa was a Rolling Stone is real. Like just because he was bringing home the bacon to mama didn't mean he wasn't hollering at auntie. You know what I'm saying? Mama just had to deal with it because the only other option was to go back home. That was the option. Now we live in a world where, hey, you wanna roll over there? Hey, I'm rolling out. And I'm taking everything plus half of what you bringing to the table. And so it's a different world that we live in now, which is why I think it's super important that as men, we slow the hell down. I'm not going to the altar, you know what I'm saying, right away. I'm not going there right away. And sometimes that LOVE, legs open very easily. Unfortunately, sometimes that is how we learn to be better next time. Right? And I'm not saying that it's right, but I am saying that it's real. And so we have to focus on before that man or that young man or whoever gets there that, hey, understand who you are. Because when you begin to LOVE, you need to understand the other side of her. You need to know the other side of her prior to LOVEing so that you don't screw yourself and you don't screw her. Mike, I'm sorry. I didn't realize that I had muted. Your microphone was muted. So
can I ask a question?
You can ask anything you want. That's why you're here.
Okay. What choices do women have for men that are around them?
Ask that more specific. I don't understand that question.
Okay. Women have a choice to choose, right? What in a man in this modern day of choices do they have to find what we would call a good man?
Well,
I think I understand where you're going. And are you saying a good man is hard to find? Is that what you're trying to say?
No, my whole point I'm saying is here are the choices, and this is something they're without. Okay. Yeah. Now talk back to me because this is what I believe. Men are either dead, gay, or in jail. I don't have a job.
I won't subscribe to that because I'm none of the four.
Okay.
I'm none of the four. I got a degree. I got my own income. I got
But that's you. I'm talking about the majority. If you look at statistics,
I'm a man.
Okay, and that's what I've done. The choices are limited because now you either find good men that are dead, in jail, don't have a job, or that are gay.
No, that's what that's
okay.
I think that's the narrative. I think that's the narrative that they want us to believe. I don't believe that to be true.
Exactly.
Okay.
So, but let's play with it.
Let's play with it.
I have a best friend. She has her own salon. Not gonna put any names out because my friend's her business. But it speaks to what he said. She's had, she's had a colorful life. Things not her fault, whatnot. But she's looking at getting married now.
Okay.
The man that she's looking at marrying is incarcerated.
Okay.
I've been locked up a few times myself, and I found that some of our greatest philosophers are incarcerated. These men have been forced into a position, and the reason why it produces this, in prison, you're either gonna come out good or you're gonna come out worse. Ain't no bad, it is worse. It's because you've been forced to sit down, cool your heels, and find you. In her statement, the beginning part about not settling, and I think I 100% agree with you, Lauren, where you were saying that like settle has a negative connotation. It's like two sides to the coin. It means two different things. So should you settle as in I wanted A, but I settle for B? Mm-hmm. No, it's not good. It's not healthy. Is it unhealthy? Because that's what I said, to not rely on someone else. Yes, your partner, your mate, your spouse, you should be able to rely on them. You should be able to depend on them. As Mike Patton has said, we've entered into a society now. I think you said, you were speaking to it also, where that woman don't have to return home if it don't work out. If it don't work out, you gotta find somewhere to go. And so she doesn't have to rely on him, and that's a lot of the poison that's been fed. And because of the way things are set, boys in school will chase the girls. The girls will chase the boys that got it at that point. Then they mature and say, well, that's not the type of man we want anymore. Now we want a decent man, a respectable man, a good man, a humble man. And that's really what it is. I believe in the settling. What we're really talking about is being humble. Have you humbled yourself to say that I'm going to commit? I'm going to lock into who I am. Have you humbled yourself to say that even if I could get a better woman, I'm going to continue building this woman here? But the issue is not relationship. The relationships are an expression of who we are. People don't commit to long-term careers anymore. They jump up and they move around. I mean, this was even on the news, that people are threatening their super. I'll quit. So if you can't commit to your job, and society says that that's okay, that's good. You can't commit to what car you drive. You can't commit to your kids. You can't. It's so much in life that we don't commit to. You can't even commit to a barber. Hey, B, when was the last time you been to a barber?
Leave that man alone.
Yesterday. Hey, you said something like, "Oh shit! Oh, the relationship's a reflection of what?"
So my relationship should be an outward expression of me.
But instead it's a reflection of us.
Whoa.
The issue is
Whoa. I'm asking.
Your relationship should be an outward expression of who?
Me.
Okay,
so
your relationship with who?
Wait, hold on. Because he said something, I can't remember that, because you said something that went straight back to my inside.
That's where it starts and stops.
Exactly. So I'm thinking, Shay, will you put in your comments kind of what you meant? Because I'm thinking that she meant before he finds her.
Yeah.
So and I agree with that. Like, before I find her, and the reason why relationship is expression, because like I look at my father. I'm sorry. My father was a very together man. His sons wasn't. But as we start to settle into the men that we're supposed to become, we're going back and picking up all those gems that he dropped. The way that my father handled us, no matter what turmoil we brought to the house, was an outward expression of how he handles himself. But a lot of men can't manage themselves, so they can't manage the relationship. And so everything's haywire. And last thing, Bishop Mike Patton, like he was saying, when that man is looking and he's looking for all the wrong things, he hasn't conquered him. If he's always saying, okay, well, this one got the fat butt, this one got the fat ass, that one got the thighs, this one got the money, this one got the house. So he all over the place.
And that goes with what she's saying. It's not unhealthy. Everything you need is inside of you. You just don't know what you need, which is why you're looking outside of you for the fat ass, for the car, for everything that she has. Because you don't know what's inside of you. You haven't even tapped into your greatness. You have not built
Mm-hmm.
from your greatness. You're already looking at what you need, what you think you need outside of you.
So Mike,
Can I-
yes, make it quick because I want to jump to one more thing before we run out of time.
Okay. Here it is. Relationships are built of lies and hypocrisy. When you see that woman and she has the eyelashes on, she has the lipstick on, and she has the nails on, what happens when she takes it off? You go into a relationship and she has a weave on, she takes out. Now you see her as is. Now, when we go into a relationship like Mike Patton did, oh, I'm a Christian, I go to church, I believe God, da 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 da. But the next thing you know, before the night's on, I'm in your panties. Now, what do I represent? I represent hypocrisy. Then I put into relationship what I want to be, which very much now becomes narcissistic. Then the relationship I want to be all about me, then it becomes self-aggrandized because I'm talking one thing on Sunday, but I'm living something else on Monday and Tuesday through Saturday. That's what happens with relationships because we go into it now with the intent to get something we can't handle.
Interesting. That's it.
Shay has another comment up.
She got away.
And she has another comment up, and I believe it's the follow-up to what we started on, where she says, I'll never settle for love amidst destruction, stagnation, or history. Elevation is my goal.
Oh shit, that was Shell 26.
Okay, that was Shell.
Yeah, it was Shell.
That was
Okay.
the next,
that's a different person. And I want to get to that because she made a statement before that that I really, really want, and I'm gonna put it up on the screen. She said I think it was you that said that we don't get married for love. And so she said, let's discuss this. Why shouldn't we marry for love? What's the point if love and trust aren't the top priorities? Isn't the goal to enhance each other's lives? I want you to speak to that.
You know what? That actually addresses both of them. Man, great Bishop Chrissy Franklin. There are certain sermons we really need to get back to going to church and going for the word, a good word. There are certain sermons that stick with you because it's a life truth. It's just my own term, a life truth. It don't never stop being true, no matter how society change. What he taught was that in a relationship, each party enhances the other party. When I go to work, I help that company make money, so it furthers the company, and then that company in return enhances my life by giving me the paycheck and providing the stability of being able to get the paycheck. In a marriage, the husband enhances the wife enhances the husband. So where it says, let's discuss why shouldn't we marry for love? According to the Bible, that's our responsibility. If we marry for love, because marriages in the Bible were about position, learning a lesson, elevation, power, things of this nature. And when we look at that, that's what was happening. I don't see anybody in the Bible that married for love. What's the point? Now, he did say as Christ loved the church, but most men won't love to that point. What is the point of love and trust is not the top priorities? Isn't the goal to enhance each other's life? If you're not in a relationship where each party is enhancing the other party, like the other woman spoke of, the stagnant water will kill you. Take a sip of some water that's been sitting around. It's full of disease, and it will be a slow and painful death. If you let food sit too long, it'll kill you. Life is a continual, perpetual thing. The moment you stop, no matter what area of your life, is the moment you die.
Facts.
Put her comment back up, please.
I agree with that. You want the comment back up?
Yes, please.
Back up.
Not that one.
Oh, no, not that one. You wanted...
Let's discuss this. 827.
There you go.
Okay, let's discuss this. Why shouldn't we marry for love? Okay, so now the asshole in me is about to come out.
Uh-oh.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, the word for, why shouldn't we marry for love? That says to me that I am seeking love. That is my purpose now. I am marrying for love. I'm not marrying for my purpose. I'm not getting someone to help me build something that is in my vision. I am marrying for something that is not inside of me.
Oh, Lord, you're right.
For something that I want. And that right there is selfish right there. I am already about self. And if that's what she's marrying for, then she too is about self. And since our love are two different versions of love, we're already looking for something different in the same ship that we're relating on. So that relationship is already going like this.
Yeah.
But we don't understand, but we don't really understand what love is until we understand why we should love our wife or woman like Christ loved the church. The biggest thing that Christ did for the church was to forgive them.
Yep. I spoke on that last week.
We don't know forgiveness. And the thing about it, I want to say this, brother, is this, is that sometimes people have been in love and they want something now, apropos something now connected to the love they have. They want a remnants of it. But when a man is undisciplined, he does not have the dedication, the desire. Now she loses her point, and now she feels like she's just a walking piece. And I've talked to a woman here recently that feels she's just there, and she's there to be a showcase, but there's nothing beyond that showcase, but nothing but, baby, you look beautiful. But now what he pours into me are things I should not be doing. What he pours into me, I know it's not in the will of God, because that's what I'm trying to live. Now, one thing that you have said too was this, that a person can be all the characteristics of a person that has good morality, but can still be an atheist. This whole thing dealing, if we look at the biblical piece, it's dealing with our faith in God. Be not conformed of the things of this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of the mind. A woman can't change my mind unless God is in the very center of what she's talking about.
So
we got a comment up.
Put her comment back up, please.
You want me to put that one?
Yes. There was more to it.
What's it say?
Go ahead.
So,
It's up.
So if I'm marrying for love, then what's the point if love and trust aren't the top priorities?
I get what she's saying.
Isn't the goal to enhance each other's lives? Now, if I have a purpose and I vet her properly, and now I bring her aboard my ship and we are now relating and this ship is going in a direction, if I see her weakening, I am going to feed her. If I see her tiring, I am going to give her rest. If I see her needing to know how to master the sails, I am going to teach her. I am going to enhance her life in every way that needs to be enhanced so that the ship will get to its destination. If I see her yearning for those stars, I am going to reach for one. Whatever I notice that she needs, I am going to enhance that so that she will be the strongest she can be while she's in this ship. And hopefully she will do the same for me.
Did you say ship or shit?
Yeah, they're interchangeable.
It's the same thing.
I asked that for a minute.
Exactly.
What do you have up there, Mike? What is that?
I have something with a tool in it. See, what Brother Boykin is saying is so true. But see, what he's talking about is somebody who's coming with something that he can facilitate her needs. Now, when this is empty, I ain't got nothing to give because she ain't got nothing to get. So there's a falling away now of emotion because I have nothing to give her in her time of need. If she comes empty like this, okay, with nothing in her, how can it enhance you? But the thing about men, and I was that point, I know so much till I knew nothing.
So, Mike,
a double-minded man is unstable in all of his ways. It ain't a man up on this panel right now that has not been double-minded. Can I get a witness?
Hey, amen. And I don't say that. I don't say that. But I wasn't talking about that, Mike.
You need to clean. You need to clean up after yourself, though.
Yeah, you need to clean up after.
Yeah.
The thing is the woman.
I'm gonna be in trouble.
The woman, in my opinion, what I'm looking for her from, she is well equipped. She already has everything that I need. She doesn't have to come to the table with money. She doesn't have to come to the table with a power saw.
But you're not gonna know that.
She does not have to come to the table with anything other than what is already inside of her. Because what's inside of her, one, are her eggs for me to be fruitful and multiply. Two, is her gentleness and her softness that God equipped her with. Three, are her fingers that will scratch my head when I need it because I don't want another man doing that. She is perfectly equipped to give me everything that I need. Anything outside of her, again, I'm looking outside of our true strengths. I don't need her money.
You don't need her money?
No.
You better run me that purse.
Yeah. Can you put 5 on it at least? At least.
Hey,
Man.
But see, Brother Boykin, that's not what you said.
No, that's exactly
not what you said.
Exactly
no. Let me tell you what I heard you say.
Okay.
When she needs this, that, and the other, I want to be able to give her.
Mm-hmm.
Is that not what you said?
He said provide. He didn't say give. He said provide.
Yes.
Same thing. That's synonymous.
And I use the word enhance, meaning if she needs to go to school, send her to school. The thing is,
I'll put my hand down.
Whatever she needs, I'm the provider. I'm the provider. I have provisions.
So you're giving her something.
Provisions, yes, to enhance her.
Okay, so you're giving her something.
Yes.
But you're giving her those provisions in an effort to enhance us.
Exactly.
Okay.
Meaning she didn't need
What you're doing is giving her permission, and she don't need your permission.
Okay.
If y'all don't stop dancing around the word trick,
I'm not saying nothing about tricking because I don't feel like
I just want to go by what Brother Boykin said.
I don't feel like any part of that is tricking. I think what we live in from time to time is we live in our pain, and so when it comes to giving somebody something, it's hard to give because we want to be selfish.
Exactly.
So I was playing.
Tricky.
Or we don't have anything to give.
I was playing.
I can't even give you good advice.
Okay.
So
I want to put this comment up right quick because I think this is an important one. I don't remember at what point it was at 8:49, so it was about 15 minutes ago. But what Brother Copeland said was, she knows what a good man is. She gets the man she needs. Time runs out.
Okay.
I'm gonna be honest, and this is just me being honest. Part of the world that we live in now, I don't think they know what a good man is. I don't know if we know what a good woman is. To be honest with you, right? That's why we talk about.
If God tells you, you do.
Yeah,
if God tells you do.
But we got to get to that point though, and I think that's where you start to lose people. Is we spend so much time focusing on not believing, people being unequally yoked, that we don't say, hey, there's another way, there's a different process, there's a way for me to help you enhance what you may already have.
Sir.
Yes, sir. Talk to him. I'm gonna be quiet. Go ahead.
Okay.
I'm gonna take that comment down.
Biblically and then presently.
Yes.
I like playing with the topics and staying in the middle, but I'll listen. Biblically, the reason why you gave a dowry gift was because it was 1 year's worth of what she brought into her father's house the year prior to you marrying her. Then you also have to have another 2 years worth of income for the year that neither one of you will work, but instead you will pour into each other and get to know each other. The reason why we are not vetting women and they don't know if a woman has anything is because we're not picking them up from their father's house. The measure of what a woman was, it was very clear, was how much she produced in her father's home. So whatever she did last year to enhance her father's house, you knew she was going to be able to produce that same thing for your house. We don't have that example anymore, or we do. Here we go presently. You know the type of man that you are getting compared to how he's providing for you. It's not that he tricks for you until you decide that this is the one I want. He won the responsibility of paying your bills. It's because I see him providing for himself. I see him taking care of himself. I see that if there's a need, he is meeting the need, that he's not always down and out and this, that, and the other. If a problem arises, I see that he's able to solve it. But see, okay, getting off of that, going back to AB, when in the comment when it said that we marry for love, but do we really? Because if we marry for love, we have to understand the Bible says that love is seeking the highest good for someone else. So if I'm not, how am I marrying for love if it's what I want? So when people say I want to marry for love, what they're really saying is I want to marry for the feeling or the sensation of being loved. It's not that I'm marrying to love you, because if I was marrying to love you, that means that every area in your life that I see lack, I'm willing to fulfill that, which is what AB was talking about when he says, you know, if she needs to go to school, like, hey, baby, I see you got your CNA, you know what I'm saying, this, that, and the other is rocking. But what if, instead of you just being a CNA, what if you was actually a nurse practitioner? We need to send you back to school. Hey, baby, I see that you out here, you know what I'm saying? Let's be transparent. I see you out here doing construction, this, that, and the other. And I had your business going. You're a humble man. You will start over if you need to, but you're getting older. And what if that woman comes to you and says, hey, I want to take $600 and put you in school for real estate because your body is not going to put up with construction for the rest of your life. What we're talking about there is the selfless act of identifying an area of lack. And what the woman does, this is what's so great about a woman, although this podcast is about accountability of men, is that a woman can see further down the line and say, he's doing great right now, but I see that he's going to need this redirection or this support. But here's the great thing about a man, that's what a leader is one that is able to identify the problem that's about to come. Men should never be struggling or lost in thought over the problem of today. The man's mind is supposed to be focused on the problem of tomorrow.
Right. No, I totally agree with that. I can't disagree with anything you just said. And you know, it's interesting when we talk about marrying for love. That's going to dissipate relatively quickly once you actually get into the confines of being in a committed relationship. It's not that you stop loving each other, but the love that most people talk about, yeah, that goes away. That goes away. We start living real life.
Here's something that's funny. While we've been on the podcast, a woman that I was talking about, when I first started this, I spoke about this lady, and I said she has nothing to offer. Financially, it ain't there. It's not. But the amount of peace that she brought. And here's the crazy part, because I think this is where AB is speaking from. When a man has gotten himself together, he's not necessarily looking for the woman that has it all together, because it's not going to change my life either way. Like, my bill's going to get paid. You know what I'm saying? This is my house. You know, I work on this. This is my house. So I don't need her to. I'm working on getting my other truck out the shop because the winter's coming. See, thinking ahead. So that's not what she brought me. That's not what made me settle and pick her above anybody else. But this is also the flip side of that. Because of how things were going and how I was pouring into her and enhancing, she arose to a point of saying, you know what? I don't like this. I don't like that I'm not able to do for you the way you're doing for me. She said, can you please allow me to step back so that I can get some things in order so that I can be proper for you? The kids just messaged me saying, hey, you know, we missed you, this, that, and the other. You don't have to keep looking outwardly when you fixed and worked on the man that you are versus the man that you need to be.
Go ahead, AB.
His volume. Someone help his volume.
You're muted.
Yeah, I was muted. Okay, sorry. We were talking about, or Mike was alluding to something like most of the men are dead, in jail, are not worth anything, or gay. Okay, so I used to do this thing saying, okay, the man is in jail. I mean, he's dead. He's in jail. He's undereducated, or he just exists.
Ill-equipped.
He's working. And he's successful. Now, out of that, we got successful, working, just alive, in jail, and dead. Well, dead is already out. So we got 4 particular pillars to choose from. And 4 divided by 100, 25% are incarcerated. That leaves 75% of the men available. Now, the men who are just existing, Maybe they don't have it together right now, but they have more of a chance of being a man than these two right here. The men that are working, they are 50%, or it's not 50%. What is this? About 35, 40%. Because this is 40% of the men that have it going on. Mm-hmm. Add this to it, that's 60% of the men that you can choose from that are, let's call them potentially good men. So what I'm saying is our conversation about us needs to change. The way that we look at ourselves needs to change, because the good men who are actually out there, they're not even on the podcast. They're not even on social media right now. They are asleep because they got to get up and go to work tomorrow. They are doing the damn thing. They don't have time to talk about what a good man
is. Stay right there.
Go ahead.
So this is crazy. I like being transparent. I talked about what went on between me and the young lady. Find myself single again. The most frustrating part of the success of, wow, I'm saying things. I can't, my tooth is that's really. The most frustrating part of the success of becoming that man that is focused, that is disciplined, that is where he's supposed to be, is that I don't run into that many attractive, available, single women. When I go to work, it's a bunch of men at that job site. I do construction. When I go into somebody's home, I have the discipline not to try to talk to that woman because I'm there for work. I'm there for business. I will respect my business and I will respect her home. I go to typically the same gas stations, same grocery stores around the same times. I'm not running into anybody new. It's not likely that you're going, which a woman is not supposed to find a man anyway, but it's not likely that I'm going to find someone at this age in my life. I should have had my shit together way earlier. That's nobody's fault but mine. But AB, you said it. The men that are disciplined, that are committed, that are growing, we are where we're supposed to be. And that's out the way. We got to say it now, man. I stay out the way, bro. We are out the way. We are not in the mix. We're hard to find because we're out the way doing what we're supposed to be doing. The young cats, the niggas, they always at the club. Some type of way, whether they got to donate blood, they're going to find a way to get there, have enough money for a cup of water and you a drink. They know which gas, and I'm telling you, they used to call me a pussy hawk. I knew which gas stations at what times to be at. I knew which grocery stores at what times to be at. So those men that are not really worth anything know how to position themselves in that woman's way, not her path,
because
in her way.
Because they're looking for.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we have to identify that. D.L. Hughley on this show was posed a question: how many deadbeat daddies do you know? And this is 100% going to solidify what AB was saying. He said, I don't know any because I'm not a deadbeat dad. He asked the people on his show. Then it came back and he said, birds of a feather flock together. He said, I don't know any deadbeat dads because I have a standard of who I am, and that standard is also who I keep around me. And I was like, hold on, I don't know any either. Even the brothers that I have, there's ways they could be better, but they're not just absent fathers. So it's crazy when we get people that say, and this is supposed to be about settling down. Well, I can't find a man that has positive connotation, settled, and so now negative connotation comes in. I'm settling for what I can find.
And see what you just got finished saying, I cannot find a man. That is part of today's problem. Men, women have taken on the role of men. They are looking for, and men have taken on the role of women. They are looking to be found by a woman who is desperate enough to accept the nothingness that he's put together.
Yeah,
my nothing looks pretty good for right now. I just want to put that out there.
Like, hey, we want to be loved. Like what?
Don't talk about my thrift store account.
Yeah. What can you bring to my table? What can you add to my world? Because hey, you see, hey,
I'm not going to show you my table at this point because it's got a tear in it. It's a little raggedy, and my nothing is really sufficing for me, and I'll be happy. Oh, last week, a comment was made. Was talking about a woman turning that house into a home.
Mm-hmm.
It is impossible for a woman to come here and turn this into a home.
Wrong.
Listen,
Wrong.
I got a jetted tub that I installed. I'm very much at home. I spend hours in there. I got my favorite chair right here. I feel loved when I come home because I've poured love into this home. This is a home.
Dude,
I
do you just describe that table?
Nah, I disagree.
Cut in it
she gonna fix that. She gonna stitch that right up for you, bro. No, she just gonna buy you a new damn table.
No, she's not. She's not. She's gonna come in and she's gonna see the way you are looking at that table. You're gonna be apologetic. Hey, baby, sorry about this table, you know. And she's gonna be like, sorry. She's gonna take her skirt off and lay it over the top of that, and you will not. You will
have me back to that love thing, legs open easy. You better keep your clothes on. Don't put that skirt on my table.
I'm just trying to tell you.
You put that skirt on my table now. You're gonna be on the table now. It's gonna be babies on the table.
It's the extra skirt she brought over.
Exactly.
Okay.
But you won't see your table the way you saw it again. And that
you want to know what?
That tub upstairs that is so beautiful to you. Yeah. When you see the bubbles going.
They go, yeah.
No, off of her. No, they go when you in it, but they gonna go.
Yeah.
When she's in it, you go. Exactly. That's.
I need to put somebody in the tub.
Like, damn, my tub ain't never did that when I'm in it, dude. I'm telling you.
Yeah. So you know what you're talking about, AB. I have had someone come over, and she looked at it. And, oh yeah, that wasn't here. That was no, but still. Because it's the same stuff. I keep my shit. She came over and she looked at it, and I went to apologize, just as you said. And I was like, yo, I just been swamped all week. The contract's been coming in. And she said, no, you're fine. It just looks like you work a lot. I went to change. Did this. We were making a pit stop. I went to change for the date. When I came back to my living room, the living room and the kitchen was straightened up. Now, it wasn't to my degree, but I do get what you're saying, that she will enhance. But I say as a man, don't put it on that woman as a burden to turn your house into a home. It should already be a home. She can make it better. She can enhance it, but don't make it her responsibility to establish home.
All I want you to do is go back to watch this show at the 117 mark or the 116 mark. And when you said you came down, when you got dressed and came back and it was clean, I want you to notice that look on your face, because that was the difference. That was what he brought to your home.
Now, being honest, when she did that, I looked back at her and I was like, man, it's too bad I don't like you.
Hey.
I ain't fooling with you.
Hey,
but I knew to invite her over when things got out of hand.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of men do. They'll find a woman that'll reach inside of herself and pour out the love to complete or fix whatever that man is lacking in. And then that man, as soon as she's done, will clock her out, send her home. Now, he won't fire her. She just clocked out. It's the end of your shift, baby. I'll bring you back when we got more work.
Yeah, he does not know how to replenish her. And that's why the Bible says that he is supposed to love her. She is supposed to respect him.
Yeah.
In Galatians, it speaks about it's talking to the church, but it's talking about be careful of these men that come in like ravishing wolves and they just tell you what you want to hear, and they twist the mind of these weak women.
Yeah, I'm talking about Ephesians, where her original nature is to pour out of herself. And if you don't put that back into her, she will be empty.
Yeah. How about we go back to Proverbs, most popular, and it talks about how when he went to town, and note that it was a travel. He would be gone for half the year. They knew that he was a wealthy man. They knew he was an important man. All this because of how she dressed him. But here's the kicker. While he was gone, she went out there and worked the fields. She had a greater harvest than he had. She didn't just stop there. She clothed the kids, did all type of shit around the house. He come back home and she was like, here, baby, this is what I did. Turned it over to him and then went back to her position of being just, they helped me. Well, you back now, so you get in the field. I'm gonna stir the porch. Men, we have to be able to be flexible and appreciative and worth that woman pouring into us. A lot of men are barking. Oh, yeah, I'll say this and shut up. This is good. A lot of niggas like to be called daddy because it's the easiest way for them to attain the position of power without having to put anything in. You want the position of authority and power, so you have your woman call you daddy. Psychologically, she begins to submit just as one would to her father. But you haven't really done anything to earn the title of father, one that leads and protects.
Yeah, that's just fair.
Yeah, well, that's like already getting a relationship, and it's the ship is now going sideways because it's like I don't want you to call me by my real name. I don't want you to call me by my married. I want you to call me husband. Call me daddy, daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's
when I was in the Marine Corps.
So that daddy daughter thing is already about to end.
Yeah.
So when I was in the Marine Corps, they did a thing where when they saw me, and I was messing up all the time, I'll just be honest, I was messing up a lot. And when they would see me messing up, it wasn't Lance Corporal Evans. It wasn't, man, nigga, what the fuck are you doing? It was, hey, Marine, what you doing? Because they were trying to remind us of the standard. Hey, devil dog, get shit together. The moment they said that, it was like you would snap out and be like, oh man, let me straighten up and get my uniform right, because that ain't how a Marine look. They ain't have a devil dog look. When that wife when she has to address you as, hey husband, can you take out the trash for me, husband? Hey husband, can you talk to Johnny because he been acting up in school, husband? She's not asking you to do it. She's really letting you know that it hasn't been getting done.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And so we're still sticking with settling because it's the negative connotation, the positive connotation. When he hasn't settled in himself, he's all over the place. So he's left his post.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I
like it.
We're going to talk about that one of these days.
Yeah. We gonna keep this conversation. Well, we'll keep it going. We may jump off of it for a week, but we got to come back to it. But for the sake of time, gentlemen, we got to put a bow tie on this conversation.
That is good. She said enhance the environment.
Yeah. She said you need to redact your comment.
Yeah. No, but Dig, I agree with her because it was the word I was looking for. She enhanced the environment. Mm-hmm. She didn't make the house a home.
She enhanced the environment. I like it.
She enhanced the environment. And a man has to be able to acknowledge when a woman can come into your atmosphere and enhance it. Yeah. Just like when we started out, they thought it was only so many planets and a star. And then they come later to say, hold on, that's not even a planet. Then they said it is a planet. The vision got clarity. A woman will bring clarity and motivation to your life, even if you're a self-motivated man.
The woman will. You are right. So Shell 76 with the mic drop for the night.
There it is. Yeah, she
the mic drop for the night.
Yeah.
Man, gentlemen, thank you so much for your transparency. This is why I love hanging out with y'all, because we can just keep it real, right? We can just keep a buck. So I appreciate it. Everybody that tuned in, thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to share this. He'll have his tooth next time, so he ain't gonna be talking through the air there.
Nah, they said it's gonna be a couple of weeks, so we got to get used to it.
Okay, all right. Now, thanks for everybody for tuning in. Everybody that dropped a comment, I hope that we addressed your comment in a respectful, honorable way. Please hit the share button, #replay. Go to YouTube, subscribe, like and subscribe. We have all of our content there. So if there's any episode that you missed over the last 2-3+ years, it's in the archive.
Question.
Got plenty of time. Yes.
You said we're on Roku TV now. So
Yes.
are the past episodes also on Roku?
That would be a negative.
No, we're still
Okay.
trying to figure out
That would
the
be a
mix
negative.
on those other ones.
Yeah. But we'll
So
get
is
to it.
everything moving forward for now?
Yeah. So basically everything from this particular topic is up there. Yeah.
Oh man, we should have got his book in there, man.
Yeah, we gonna be doing this for a long time, man. This is a journey that we're all going on, helping each other elevate as men, women. Again, I hope that we honored you in some capacity because we honor you in our everyday lives. Gentlemen, knowledge of self. This is where it starts. It starts with knowledge of self. Before you want to go find your helpmate, your girlfriend, whatever you want to call her, get yourself in order, and everything else will fall in line accordingly. I promise you. I promise you. I promise you. So, till next time, gentlemen, it's been an honor and a pleasure. Audience, ditto. It's been an honor and a pleasure. Keep rocking with us. Like, share, subscribe. Elevating Men. We out. Till next week. Yeah.